Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Stelecon here, and before we get into today's video, there's something I'd like to say. I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. After the League of Villains attack, the school was closed the next day. They wanted the students to have a break, but Izuku found he couldn't relax after the USJ incident. He was in his room trying to tinker with the Omnitrix while watching the video of All Might saving people that he had idolized. He was trying to see if he could figure out more about the watch, while also thinking about what the hands guy from the League of Villains said. He called the watch the Omnitrix, and he seemed like he wanted it. Later the next day in school, the students were sitting around in their class before homeroom talking about the USJ incident. Kaminari was talking about how they were basically a celebrity now because of all the coverage the story got, but he was shot down by Jiro immediately. Izuku didn't really care too much about that conversation, instead talking to Bakugo on how who defeated more villains. Asue backs up Izuku while saying the Whirlpool must have took out most of them, but Kirishima backs up Bakugo saying that they defeated an army's worth of villains where they were. Then, before they could finish their debate, a heavily bandaged Aizawa walks into class while saying good morning. After a bit of class confusion, Aizawa would go on to talk about how the UA Sports Festival was about to happen, saying it would help them go pro. Izuku was a bit worried though. He wouldn't be able to compete if support items weren't allowed. Midoriya, Oyama, I'll make sure you guys can use your support items, but you gotta fill out some paperwork first. Aizawa mutters as he hands both of them support item registration forms, with his one not cast at hand. While class is properly starting, all Izuku could think about was the sport festival, and how he could get scouted by a pro agency. He thought with his 12 alien heroes, he was bound to get scouted by someone. During lunchtime, Izuku would be walking out to the lunch hall with Uraraka and Ida, while All Might appears from nowhere, scaring the trio. Young Midoriya, you want to eat lunch with me? He asked to the surprise of Izuku. Without hesitation, Izuku accepts the offer and goes with All Might. When they get into All Might's office, he warns Izuku that he was about to show him something no one else was supposed to know. Feeling really weird, Izuku stays quiet and just nods. Then, All Might is engulfed by a cloud of smoke as he reverts into his Small Might form, surprisingly not shocking Izuku as much as he thought. It wasn't the weirdest thing he'd seen today. All Might explained about the injury while making tea for Izuku. When he sat down, he said, I think you owe me an explanation now. You know, about that watch of yours. Izuku began to panic. He clearly knew his quirk excuse was a lie. So he told All Might about the watch coming from space, and how he was really quirkless. Back with Uraraka and Ida, they were in line for lunch, just talking about random stuff, until Uraraka brought up Izuku having lunch with All Might. She was wondering why. It's probably because of all the things he's done. Defeating Bakugo and me in that training. Saving him during the USJ. He's probably taking a liking towards him. Maybe he became his favorite student or something. Can't really blame him, Ida explains, but from the line next to them, Todoroki listens in to the conversation, as something clicks in his head. Back with All Might, he took a second to think about the watch, which Izuku was calling the Omnitrix. He did hear that Warp Gate villain say something about the watch. That's the main reason he wanted to talk to him. But since they both knew nothing about it, All Might asked a different question. Even though it's not a quirk, it would still be illegal to use in public, even if it was a beach, and a train. Did he know this? Of course Izuku didn't know this, and pleads with All Might not to tell anyone. All Might just laughs as he stands up, and promises not to tell the police. Then he goes over to the window. As you know, I don't have long left, and we're going to need a new symbol of peace. All Might announces as Izuku stares up at him in awe, praying that he would say what he wanted to say. I want you to prove yourself to the world during the sports festival, and proudly say, I am here! If you can do that, I'll take you on and train you as the next #1 hero. Standing up, Izuku took All Might's deal. Izuku will not be gaining one for all in this what if. All Might would just be training him. Near the end of school, Izuku would round up his friends Bakugo, Ida, and Uraraka, and Kirishima, joining in as well because of Bakugo. On a quick side note, Bakugo was only friends with Kirishima and Izuku. He found Ida incredibly annoying, but while he didn't mind Uraraka, he would call her a friend. But Izuku got them all together to help him come up with names for his aliens, something Uraraka suggested on the first day. He wanted to do this so he would stand out a bit more. Izuku would let them look at certain pages of his alien notes, as names got tossed around. There were a few good ones, like Bakugo naming his ghost alien Ghost Free, or Uraraka naming his fire alien Heat Blast. but there would be some bad ones, like Charcoal Man, Candyman, Big Bug, and Brain Frog. All these names coming from Bakugo, who Huraka named the bulk of Izuku's aliens. She was surprisingly good at naming stuff. With that said and done, the students would spend the next while training for the UA Sports Festival. Izuku, Bakugo, and Kirishima would spend this time training together. At first, Bakugo just wanted to train with Izuku, but since Kirishima became good friends with the both of them, so Izuku invited them to train with them. This made Kirishima more prepared for the festival than in normal canon. On the day of the festival, Izuku would be in the waiting room with the rest of the class. Nothing strange happens until Todoroki approaches Izuku. From an objective standpoint, I think I can say I'm strong. Todoroki mutters as he squares up to him, surprising Izuku. No, I don't think you are. Izuku coldly mutters back with his arms crossed. He thought he was way stronger with his 12 aliens compared to Todoroki's half and half work. Bakugo watches on from afar in his seat with a smile on his face. He was smiling at Deku, standing up to someone like Todoroki, who Bakugo hated. It doesn't matter what you think. All that matters is that you're All Might's favorite, and I'm gonna beat. With that declaration war, Bakugo stood up from his chair and yelled, "Oh, I bet you think you're hot crap, Icy Hot. Well, guess what? I'm gonna beat you!" With tension high in the waiting room, Kirishima goes to defuse the situation by asking Todoroki why he's starting fights all of a sudden, also putting his hands on his shoulder, but he's pushed away from him, while saying that he's not here to make friends. Then he walks out while telling him he will crush anyone in his path. As the class made their way out into the stadium center, Izuku noticed a lot of the other courses and classes giving him dirty looks. Bakugo had left an impression on the other students, ever since a run-in he had had with Hitoshi Senshu, a general department student, making the other classes think everyone in class 1A were just like Bakugo. With the students all crowding around the teacher Midnight, she called up Bakugo as the only good thing for Bakugo to say, getting praise from Ida of all people. But a good amount of students thought he was referring to the general department, and just wanted to leave, garnering for hate for 1A. With that out of the way, Midnight got the students ready for the race around the stadium. Izuku was feeling good about this event. His plan was just to go accelerate and blitz his way to the end. It shouldn't be too hard, right? But when Izuku and the others barely set foot out of the main part of the stadium and started to squeeze their way out of the tight exit, Todoroki freezes the ground to freeze most students in place. This froze most students in place except for the most of Class 1A, the exception being Izuku. He starts to panic as he reaches for the Omnitrix. The new plan was to go Heat Blast and melt his way out of the ice, but as he transformed, the Omnitrix gave him the wrong alien, transforming him into Upgrade. While not the best alien for a race, Izuku could work with it though, using Upgrade's malleable body to slip out of the ice and try and catch up with the others. As the race continued, an army of zero-pointer robots would attack the students. For most students, this was a terrible thing, but Izuku, it was amazing. As one of the zero-pointers attacked him, he let squash him so he could easily merge with it, creating an even more powerful zero-pointer robot. There goes Class 1A's resident transforming student, Izuku Midoriya, in his upgrade hero form. President Mike announces to the audience. Izuku had given a sheet of names to Aizawa, who in turn gave it to President Mike to read out during the sports festival. He did this so he could stand out. Watching from home, Izuku's mother Inko watches in disbelief that Izuku just did that. Up until this point, Izuku never told her about the Omnitrix, so she was surprised to say the least. Inko first thought it was a mistake made by the commentator, but when she could faintly make out a small symbol on the robot that shares a striking similarity to the one on Izuku's strange watch, she knew it was him. Izuku fought the other zero-pointer robots by using his upgraded weapon, getting close to Todoroki and to the tight rope section of the race. As he got closer, he could feel a small explosion on his back, as Bakugo made his way onto his shoulder. "Kachan, what are you?" Izuku tried to say before Bakugo yells, "Throw me at Todoroki, now!" Before we get back into the story, I would like to say that we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive is a channel based on a variety of anime lore. If you're interested in content like this, make sure you click the icon in the top right corner or check the description below for a link to the channel. Now, with that out of the way, let's get back into the story. Confused, Izuku asks why he would do such a thing, but Bakugo explains how they couldn't let someone like Todoroki get first place. Bakugo ironically hated the way he acted, like he was better than everyone. Ever since Izuku beat Bakugo during hero training and became friends with him again, he was slowly becoming a less self-centered person. With no other choice, Izuku agreed to throw him, but not before he moved a bit back and jumped off the starting area off the tightrope walk. While mid-air, he grabs Bakugo and throws him full force at Todoroki. Izuku barely made it to the other side of the tightrope walk, scraping the chest of his robot off the side of the chasm and grabbing to the side ledge with his hand. As Izuku lifted himself onto the edge, he could clearly see Bakugo and Todoroki fighting, dangerously close to the minefield, setting off a few mine explosions in the process. Bakugo would see Izuku and pin Todoroki down while yelling, "Go, you damn nerd!" Surprising, Todoroki would yell at Bakugo for using teamwork, but Bakugo would explain it was to knock him down a peg, and make sure he didn't think he was better than him. Wasting no time, Izuku got ahead of the two and starts to make his way through the minefield. The upgraded Zero Pointer would be able to step on a couple of mines with only minor amounts of damage. Everything was going fine until he could faintly hear a beeping and a massive red flash engulfed him. As the flash subsides, Izuku is back in human form, and the Zero Pointer robot began to rampage behind him, fighting the other students, causing a lot of explosions. Izuku would just run up to the finish line, making sure not to touch any mines on his way, letting Bakugo go ahead of him and get first place in the race because of his explosion quirk. Izuku got second place, with Todoroki getting third, which is bad since Izuku thought he showed off a good bit in the race. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now, there's a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer for this video, as well as the editor for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those areas. We're always looking for members to join us. That's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested. And hit that like button if you liked the video. Until next time, peace out, mortals, and have an amazing day.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire.